Thank you, and thank you all for taking part in this discussion about the WTO e-commerce joint statement initiative. As a Parliament's standing rapporteur for these negotiations in the INTA committee, I want to start by saying that the Parliament firmly supports these negotiations and hopes for ambition and comprehensive outcome. The European Union is the world's #1 exporter of services, and 48% of services are digital. It is our interest to work for an open digital market and for global rules that support the interests of our companies, consumers and workers in those markets. While digital trade is still not nearly as important as goods trade, its importance is growing fast and has taken a giant leap forward in the past year of COVID. The fact ever since the global financial crisis, goods trade has been slowing down, while the digital trade in what the OECD calls information industries has been speeding up. Thereby, globalization is becoming more and more digital and information intensive. How to regulate the global digital economy is a big question, and WTO e-commerce JSI can certainly be part of the answers. Jurisdictions around the world, including our EU, are busy developing new rules for the digital economy, which has until recently largely been unregulated. It is clear that similar public policy objectives that have been addressed in the traditional economy will need to be addressed in the digital economy. That's why the EU is pursuing DSA, DMA, GGA, and the new AI regulation, to name just a few of our own initiatives. While the EU is developing its digital rules in such a way that we will remain open to the rest of the world, it is clear that many others are maybe not. Instead, many countries are using new digital regulations to restrict foreign competition. Forced data localization practices are the tip of the iceberg that the new corp of protectionist digital measures. I see the WTO e-commerce GSI as the opportunity for all the main players to agree amongst themselves to keep each other's market open for digital trade and jointly agree on the basic rules governing digital trade. At the moment, 86 countries would cover a lot. Thereby, the GSI can be an instrument enabling the new stage of globalization to proceed, enabling the trade of the information industry to one day eclipse the trade of the manufacturing industries. While openness should be the key objective, we need to make it clear in the arrangements that non-discriminatory justified regulation on digital markets will continue to be allowed. In the negotiation, we have had some good progress late, but I will leave that to Kiener, who is our negotiator from the European Commission and will be speaking here, and I'm very happy to welcome him. And I think the most difficult negotiations are still ahead of us, and it will not be easy, maybe. It's clear that some of the GSI participants even, and not everybody is on the board, but also some participating are not maybe committed enough for ambitious outcome. I think we cannot accept an outcome that doesn't include some rules of the data flow, source code, and permanent moratorium of the custom duties. Without these elements, the agreement cannot sufficiently guarantee the openness of the digital trade, which is maybe the most important part of this try to make the agreement. I hope substantial progress can be made also by ministers in November MC12, and we need a new impetus for the talks to then be concluded soon after. I believe that we need to make it clear for those slowing down the negotiation that unless they promptly commit to an ambitious outcome, we and the others that are committed will move forward without them. And actually, we see bilateral trade agreements happening all the time and different agreements on the digital cooperation as well. We should frame it as a choice between one, inclusive global rules that allow everyone to reap the benefits increase in digital trade, or two, exclusive rules that will make the benefits occur to selected few only. I don't see other way intensify all actors to an open and ambitious outcome. Perhaps the speakers can elaborate that. In any case, we cannot allow this negotiation to become another 20-year WTO process that may or may not be concluded in the end. Too much is at stake, and this is acute and happening, the digitalization now. If we cannot agree on the digital rules soon, an increase in number and of new barriers to the digital trade will have been put in place, and growth of the digital trade might run out of stream. That would be a huge loss for companies, workers, and consumers for the using the new kind of services. So let's push for an ambitious agreement that will enable us to re-up the benefits of the globalization, and is it moving into the next information-intensive phase that's full of opportunities. I welcome the speakers to continue from here.